Welcome to Bewitching Brain. My name is Sophia Mazzacchio, and I'm an MD candidate at the Medical College of Wisconsin. I am super interested in the brain and nervous system as a whole. At the Medical College of Wisconsin, the Student Interest Group in Neurology provides educational outreach and is always looking for ways to engage community as we learn more about the bewitching brain. Please subscribe, share, and email me or comment below with questions or ideas. Take good care, be safe, and help others be safe. This week, we are excited to welcome Kaylin, who will be discussing neurotransmitters.
Last week, we talked all about the action potential and how a neuron signals within itself electrically. This process is essential for processing and carrying a signal in the nervous system. However, we know that the nervous system is composed of thousands of neurons. How does this signal get transmitted to other neurons? This is where chemical signaling comes into play. To break down chemical signaling, we will first discuss what neurotransmitters are, how they are synthesized, packaged, and released, and then finally some important neurotransmitters. You may even recognize some of these famous neurotransmitters. At the core of chemical signaling are neurotransmitters. Neurotransmitters can be lumped into three generalized types: small molecule, neuropeptides, and gases. Neurotransmitters are any molecule or chemical released by a neuron to elicit a response in a neighboring cell. These neighboring cells can be any type of cell, not just neurons. At the result of most action potentials is the release of neurotransmitters into the synapse. From there, they travel to the postsynaptic neuron to potentially activate another action potential. Nervous system signaling goes in a cycle, from action potential to chemical signaling back to action potentials. These small signaling messengers are synthesized in the presynaptic neuron. This process can occur anywhere in the cell where ribosomes are found. This process is most commonly found in the cell body or axon terminal spaces. Small molecule neurotransmitters are often synthesized in the axon terminals, while neuropeptides are often produced in the cell body. Gas neurotransmitters can diffuse across the cell membrane, thus are not thought to be synthesized like the other main groups of neurotransmitters. After these signaling molecules have been produced, they need to be packaged into compartments called vesicles that will eventually be released into the synapse. Vesicles are like little bubbles formed that can carry molecules in or out of the cell. For both small molecular and neuropeptide neurotransmitters, vesicles are essential for the continuation of the chemical signaling process. These vesicles are packaged both in the axon terminals or the cell bodies to eventually be released by exocytosis. Some vesicles get released right after they are packaged, but others can sit in the axon terminals waiting for their signal to be exocytosed. The next step in the process of chemical signaling is getting the vesicles to fuse with the neuron's membrane to be released into the synaptic cleft. This is where our friend, the action potential from last week's video, has a large role in transmitting to chemical signaling. One of the last steps of the action potential occurs in the axon terminals, where voltage-gated calcium channels are opened. When these channels are opened, calcium rushes into the presynaptic neuron. This acts as a link between electrical and chemical signaling. Calcium acts as the initiator or green light for vesicles to release their contents to the extracellular space. As the vesicles fuse to the membrane, the neurotransmitters they were carrying flood into the synaptic cleft. To pass their signal along within the nervous system, these neurotransmitters will then travel across the synapse to activate receptors on the postsynaptic cells. From here, the same cycle of electrical signaling, action potentials, to chemical signaling, neurotransmitter release continues. Now that we know how neurotransmitters work, let's dive into some of the body's most important neurotransmitters. The ones we will be talking about today are acetylcholine, dopamine, glutamate, and GABA. But know that these are only a few neurotransmitters. If you are interested in learning about more neurotransmitters, feel free to reach out by either commenting on any Bewitching Brain YouTube video or following our Facebook page that will be linked down below. Acetylcholine is an example of a small molecule neurotransmitter. It functions both in the central and peripheral nervous systems. Acetylcholine, or in shorthand ACH, uses what are called cholinergic pathways throughout the nervous system. In the central nervous system, acetylcholine can be used for attention, learning, and memory systems. However, acetylcholine is more commonly recognized for its importance in neuromuscular junctions. Neuromuscular junctions are the points where the nervous system connects to your body's muscles to make sure they contract and extend at appropriate times. Acetylcholine is the neurotransmitter released by neurons that then project onto muscle cells. In other words, without acetylcholine being released, you wouldn't be able to move your arms or legs. Dopamine is another example of a small molecule neurotransmitter. The main functions of dopamine are found in the central nervous system. Dopamine, in shorthand DA, uses what are called dopaminergic pathways. Dopamine is most likely the most well-known neurotransmitter, as in popular media it has been known as the happy chemical. This is not far off from what it is important for in the brain. Dopamine is often used in what are called our reward circuits. These circuits are activated when you do something enjoyable. Let's say your favorite food is cookie dough ice cream. Every time you eat cookie dough ice cream, it makes you a bit happier, right? This is reinforced by your brain's reward circuits and dopamine. Your brain and your taste buds start to crave cookie dough ice cream to try to release dopamine in your brain again. The next two neurotransmitters we are going to discuss go hand in hand. GABA and glutamate are both amino acids that work as neurotransmitters. These are the most prevalent neurotransmitters in your nervous system. The reason why they are the most prevalent is due to their rather simple but essential jobs. GABA is your body's primary inhibitory neurotransmitter. In other words, if you want your nervous system to stop or slow down the relay of an action potential, GABA can be released as it will inhibit or stop the relay of a signal. Glutamate, as you might have guessed, does the exact opposite. Glutamate is your primary excitatory neurotransmitter. Both of these neurotransmitters are very important in ensuring that your nervous system works appropriately and is only sending signals or action potentials at the correct times. Now we know how signals are passed in the nervous system. Next time, we will discuss myelination and how it is used to speed up signal transduction. Thanks for listening, Brainiacs. Tune in next time for more.